Hi, Ernie. Ernie, I saw you with, I think your two grandsons in the car today coming down Highland.
Yeah,
Where'd you go?
I took the whole family. We were at the LA Zoo.
Oh my gosh, I haven't been there in ages.
It was beautiful. What? Because normally it's really hot there.
I know, always hot. That's
Not
good.
today, but not
Today was
today.
good.
Today was
Yeah.
gorgeous, and the animals therefore were more with it. And then we love this place, Aroma Street Cafe,
Oh, in the valley, I haven't been
the
there.
valley. So from the zoo,
Oh, it's close.
very close. We had a fantastic meal there, and then we were
Oh,
on
nice.
we were on the way
Nice.
home. They wanted me to take them in the top, with the car with the top.
Yeah, it's a treat. Where's everybody?
Okay, well, we can get started.
Okay, I'm ready. We're still describing all the different layers of heaven.
It's even more today. It's even more esoteric.
Okay.
We're on Yud Gimel. Yaakov. Whatever the chayos are, there's another heaven. There's another level of heaven above them. Looks like the fierce ice, because kerach is ice. And adkan yeshlecha reshus l'daber. Up until that location, you can talk about it. Mikan ve'elach ein lecha reshus l'daber. Beyond that, you don't have any permission to speak about it. Shekain katuv b'sefer Ben Sira. Ben Sira was a Tanaitic, post-Tana. It's very early, like 180 BCE. Ben Sira was not canonized, but there are a number of statements of Ben Sira throughout Shas. But mufla mimchal tidrosh, that which is greater than you, don't darshan. Uv'machusa mimchal tachkor, that which is hidden from you, don't investigate. B'mesh or sheitet bonein, that which you are permitted, investigate. Ein lecha esek b'nistaros, you don't have any reason to participate in discussions of secrets. Tanya Amrav Nasan, Amrav Yechim Ben Zakkai, Matshuva Yeshivasa Bas Kol Osa Russia. When Nebuchadnezzar made a statement, Rav Yechim Ben Zakkai wants to know, what did the Bas Kol answer him? B'shasha Amar El Al B'Mosei Avad Mele Elyon. Nebuchadnezzar wanted to climb up the heavens and compare himself to the Almighty. Yatis Bas Kol V'Amar LaRasha Ben Rasha. Ben Benoshel Nimrod Rasha. You are the grandchild of Nimrod, who built the Tower of Babel. Shehimri Kolam Kulo Alav Malchuso. Kamash Noiser Shalodem Shivim Shana. A human being, his lifespan is usually 70 years. Shenema Yemesh Noseno Be'em Shivim Shana V'Bigvur Shmonim Shana. Sometimes 80. V'Halom Min Haaretz Ad Rakia Ma'alach Chamesh Me'os Shana. Very interesting. Chazal use, for example, astronomers measure distance in light years. How much light travels 186,000 miles a second. So how much does light travel in a year? So, right, the closest star, Alpha Centauri, is 4.4 light years, which is trillions of miles away. But it's measured in 4 light years. Here, the Gemara says, from the ground to the Rakia, it would take you 500 years to walk there. Now, I don't know how much Chazal know like how many miles a person could walk a day. Is it 20 miles? So if it's 20 miles a day, so you're talking about 700 miles a year. So 700 times 500.
7,200.
Say again?
7,200. 365 times 20.
So let's say, okay, so 7,200.
Yeah.
7,200 miles
Times 500.
times 500.
That's a
Let's
lot.
say times 1,000, 700,000 miles. No, so you
Right.
gotta half that, 350,000 miles.
Right.
That's where the moon is. The moon is like 270.
The moon's at 220, 240. Yeah.
So what they're saying is
Interesting.
from the ground to Rakia is 70,000 miles. I'm sorry, is 700,000 miles. We said half of that, 350,000 miles. But then it goes on. The oivav shel Rakia, the thickness of the Rakia is Mahal Chamesh Moshe, is another 350,000 miles. That's how thick it is. Then the Chen Ben Kol Rakia v'Rakia. Remember, there's 7 Rakiyas. Between each Rakia is a space of 350,000 miles. And then Lamala Mehen Chayos HaKodesh. And then the Chayos, the Ragle HaChayos, let's say 7 times 350. Let's say 10 times 350. So it's 3.5 million miles. Then they say that the legs of the Chayos is like the whole amount. Another 3.5 million miles. And then Karsule Achayos Keneged Kulan. The Karsule is like the body. And Shoke Achayos Keneged Kulan, the thighs are like all of it. Ruchuvi Achayos Keneged Kulan. Yarche Achayos, the other leg Keneged Kulan. Gufe Achayos, the body Keneged Kulan. Savar Achayos Keneged Kulan. You multiply the neck. Rosh Achayos Keneged Kulan. Karne Achayos Keneged Kulan. Then the horn. So you're talking about hundreds and hundreds of millions of miles. Now, it's 93 million miles to the sun. It's 1 billion miles to Neptune. Or maybe 2 billion miles. Might be 1 billion miles from the Earth to Jupiter. 2 billion to Neptune. Then it says above this, L'mala mehen kisei kavod is the heavenly throne. And the feet of the Ragle Kisei HaKovod is Keneged Kulan. It's a measure of all this, the whole amount. And Kisei HaKovod itself is Keneged Kulan. And Melech Kel Chai V'Kayam, Melech El Chai V'Kayam Rav Nisa Shochen Alem, he sits on that. And then Ve'ata Marta, you Nebuchadnezzar. So these are, he gave it in the, how many years? So we're talking about hundreds and hundreds of millions of years that would take you to walk. And you're going to climb up. You're going to go down into the grave. So again, this is Kabbalistic. I don't know if it actually, it's a true measurement. Okay. Then the first parak of Sefer Yechezkel, which we read as the Haftorah on Shavuos, deals with the Meiser Merkava. It talks about the chariot of God. And that's the mysticism of what's called Meiser Merkava. And that you can't even teach that to a single person. Either the person knows it or he doesn't know it. And Tani Rav Chia, Aval Moisrin La Roche Prokim. Rav Chia says, if the person you think knows some of this, you can give him like abbreviations. You can give him chapter headings. You can only give these Rosh Prokim to the Av Bezdin. And to anybody who's worried about that he might be a sinner. The secrets of the Torah can only be revealed to someone who has 5 things. Sar Chamishim, He has to be like an officer of over 50 people. Unesu panim. He has to be somebody who forgives easily. V'yoetz, he has to be an advisor for chacham, charoshim, unevon lachar. He has to know when to be quiet. Freit Gemara of Amravami and Moisrin Divitor Lenochri. You're not allowed to teach Torah to a goy. Shenemar lo asachen l'chol goyim shvatim ba'yideu. Rabbi Yochanan told Rabbi Lazar, please teach me Ma'aser Merkava. You're not old enough. Kikash, when he got old enough, nach nafshed Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Yochanan died. Ravasi told Vagbar Chava Ma'aser Merkava. So Ravasi asked to be taught Ma'aser Merkava. Armelei, if you are zochig mirtim Rabbi Yochanan Rabcha, you would have been zoicha to learn it from your Rabbi Yochanan, but he died. Obviously, you were not worthy. Rav Yosef Avagomer Ma'aser Merkava. Rav Yosef used to learn Ma'aser Merkava. Savi de Pumbedisa Avatana b'Ma'aser Bereishis. The elders of Pumbedisa would learn the secrets of creation. Amrulei Ligmor Lanmar Ma'aser Merkava. So the Save Pumbedisa asked Rav Yosef to teach them Ma'aser Merkava. Armalu, Agmali Ma'aser Bereishis. Okay, I'll do it if you teach me Ma'aser Bereishis. So Basar de Agmarun. So after he taught them, Armalei Ligman Marba Ma'aser Merkava. Okay, now fulfill your bargain and teach me Ma'aser Merkava. Armalu Tanina Bahu. Dvash v'chalav tachas l'shonech. Honey and milk is under your tongue. Dvarim ha'metukim midvash v'chalav yutachas l'shoncha. And these things are not easy to learn. Not only that, people who know it, it's prohibited to teach it to other people. These are things that are in the furnace of the world. Yutachat levushcha should be under your clothing? Absolutely not. Amrulei. Taninan buhu ad vayomer elai ben adam. Perek Sheni of Yecheskel starts off vayomer elai ben adam. That's where it ends, Ma'aser Merkava. Armalun hein Ma'aser Merkava. Meisvei. Adechad Ma'aser Merkava. When does Ma'aser Merkava end? Rabbi Omer ad va'eira basra. It says va'eira, I saw something, the last va'eira. And that's not included in Ma'aser Merkava. Rav Yitzchak Omer ad chashmal. There's a pasuk that talks about chashmal. In modern Hebrew, it means electricity. We don't know what that means in Kabbalistic language. Ad ve'era megamrina. Until the pasuk va'era you learn. Mikan va'elech only masrina roshei prokim. Only like chapter headings. Ikid yami ad ve'era masrina roshei prokim. Up until the pasuk va'era you give chapter headings. Mikan va'elech im hu chacham evi midaito. Beyond that, if he's chacham, he'll know by himself. In ilo lo. Frag the Gemara, umi darshinan b'chashmal. Can anybody darshan chashmal? V'hahu yanuka. There was a child. The darsh b'chashmal. V'nafkanur v'achalte. A fire came out and consumed him. Shani yanuka de lav mati zimna. Yeah, he was too young. Amrav Yehuda b'ram zachro so ishato. The Chananya ben Chizkiah Shmo, we should remember Chananya ben Chizkiah for good. Because Ilmalehu Nigna Sefer Yecheskel. If it wasn't for him, Chazal would have banned Sefer Yecheskel. Shaya Dvarv Soisim Divrei Torah. The later Psukim, when it talks about the binyan of Bayis Shlishi, it seems to disagree with certain Psukim in the Torah. So because there were conflicts, the Chachamim wanted to hide Sefer Yecheskel. So Chananya ben Chizkiah saved it. And Maas Ahelalu Shlosh Meos Garbe Shemen. He brought up to his attic 300 barrels of oil for both illumination and for eating. The Yashav Baliyah Drosho. And he darshaned and he corrected and he was miyashev all the contradictions. There was a child who was learning by his Rebbe in Sefer Cheskel, Mevin b'chashmal. And he understood this chashmal. The Yotze Eish b'chashmal usrofto. And fire came out of chashmal and burnt him up. Ubikshu ligno Sefer Cheskel. It was dangerous, so they wanted to get rid of Sefer Cheskel. What if this guy was a chacham? Everybody's going to be chachamim to be able to understand Sefer Cheskel. So that he convinced them not to ban it. My chashmal Amrav Yehuda chayos eish b'malalois. It refers to chayos that are made out of fire who speak. That's chashmal. The masnisatan itim choshois. Sometimes they're quiet. Itim b'malalois. Sometimes they speak. When a Kadosh Baruch Hu is speaking, they're quiet. They speak when a Kadosh Baruch Hu is quiet. The pasuk says the chayos come in and out like lightning. What does that mean? Like if you look into a furnace and you see light coming out of the furnace. When a goldsmith works with gold, this is the light that comes out of that kind of processing. Yechezkel says he saw a storm coming out of the north. Anan gadol ve'esh mitlakachat, with a big cloud and fire, v'nogal soviv, mitocha ke'ena chashmal mitocha eish. Now, lahechanazo, where did this wind take him? Amar v'damar Shmuel, shalach lichbashus kolom kulo tachas Nebuchadnezzar Rasha. The wind was going to help Nebuchadnezzar capture the whole world. Why did he need to do that? Kol kach lama. Shlo yomru umasalim biyad umashvelim asar kadosh baruch Hu's banam. In the end, Nebuchadnezzar was the one who took Klal Yisrael captive and destroyed the Beis Hamikdash. It didn't want to be, Kadosh Baruch Hu didn't want it said that, the Jewish people fell to nobody. They fell to the first person to conquer the world, Nebuchadnezzar. Who caused that I, in this sense, should help Ovdei Elilim, Avanotem Shel Yisrael and Gamali? It's the sins of Klal Yisrael that put me in this position. By the chayos there was a wheel, an ofan. This is a malach that stands on the ground. His head is by the chayos. Sandalfon Shmo. His name is Sandalfon. He's taller than his friend, the distance that it takes a person to walk 500 years, which we said was like 350,000 miles. He stands behind the chariot. And he ties crowns to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. When it says Baruch Kvod Hashem Imkomo, we don't know where his place is. Nobody knows where the place of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So how would he know where to put the crowns on? No, he knows where the crown is. And then the Keter, the crown goes by itself and sits on the head of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Whatever this means. All of these visions described by Yechezkel were also seen by Yeshaya Navi. Yechezkel was like a village person who saw the king. He was a more sophisticated person. He was like a big city person who saw it. he sees the meeting with the Melech, but not all the little details. The person from a village notices all the details. That's why he gave us all the details, Yechezkel. Amresh Lakish Ma'id Chsiv Ashir Lashem Ki Go'aga'a Shira Lemishim is Gal Agayim. The Shira will be done to Hashem, who is above everybody. Damar Mar Melech Shebachayos Ari. The king of the animal world is the lion. Melech Shebebehemos Shor. The king of domesticated animals is the ox. Melech Shebeoifois Nesher. The king of the birds is the eagle. The Adam is Galeim, and the human being has dominion over all of them, or he's haughtier than them. V'Kadosh Baruch Hu is Gal Kulam V'Kolon Kulam. Kadosh Baruch Hu is higher than all of these. Now, the Yechezkel gives us that there were 4 faces on each side of the Merkava. So, Udmus Pnei Pnei Adam, there's a human face that we had many Chazals that say that was the face of Yaakov Avinu. That's why when they went up and down, the angels went up and down the Sulam, they recognized, oh, that's the one with the face. He's the face that's on the chariot. Ufnei Aryeh, Elayamin, the face of the lion on the right, La Arbatam. Ufnei Shor Me'as Small La Arbatam. And the face on the left is the shore. By the way, that's why Klal Yisrael in the desert built an Egel Hazav, because they knew they wanted an intermediary, just like it had Moshe Rabbeinu. They wanted an intermediary to deal with Hashem. And when the Kisei HaKovod came down on the Har Sinai, they saw that there was a shore there. So that's why they built the Egel. Now, another pasuk says, one side is the face of a baby, a face of an adult, the face of a lion, without the shore. Yechezkel davened for the shore to be replaced by the baby. Why? Whenever you see the shore, it's going to be a prosecutor because it'll remind you of the Egel Hazav. Better it should be a different face on the Merkava. My Kruv, Amravo, Karavia, a baby. She came to Bavel, Karli Yanuka Ravia. In Bavel, they called a Yanuka Ravia, like Kruv. One face was a baby, one face was a person. The third, well, a baby and a human is the same thing. No, they wanted the face of an adult, they wanted the face of a child. It described these celestial beings as having 6 wings. Because of Another person, they only had 4. They had 6. They only had 4. These are the chayos. And when the base of English was destroyed, they lost 2 of their wings. Now, one of their wings, one pair covered their face, the other pair covered their body, the third pair covered their legs. So, Heminayu imut. Which pair was removed after the Churban. Aruch Hanan Rav Oisen Shomer Shira Behen. That these wings also sang. Ksivach Vishtam Yofeif, the Karazel Zeva Amar. That the speech or the Shira of Kadosh, Kadosh, Kadosh is made with the wings. Uksiv ha'ta'if einecha bo veinenu. That it used to cover their eyes, but it's gone. V'Rabbanan Amri. Oisen shemachasus behen ragleim. They lost the wings that covered their legs. You know why we know that? Shenema v'ragleim regel yishara, because Yechezkel describes that they had straight legs. That's why when we say Shmona Esrei, we keep our feet together as if it's one leg. V'ilav de'imid, if it wasn't for the fact that those wings fell away, Minaviyot, how did he know that the legs was straight? Maybe when the wings were flapping, he saw. How did he know that the Chayos' face was the face of a person? Would you say that those wings fell off? No. At one point, while it was flying, he could see the face. Versus Achiyash, there's no comparison. Bishma ape, orach arleglu kame rabbe. It's the standard procedure to reveal your face to your Rebbe. But kare, lavar charleglu kame rabbe. But the Chayos aren't going to reveal their legs to the Kodesh Baruch Hu. Cause of Echad Omer Elef Alfin Yishamshuno, a million would be 1,000 times 1,000, a million. The Ribo Revavon Kadmon Yukumun. There's a pasuk in Daniel. Millions will serve him, and tens of thousands will stand in front of him. The cause of Yesh Misparlik, another one says there's no number to his legions. Like Kasha, there's no number. There's a number. That the army of Klal Yisrael has decreased. The army of HaKadosh Baruch Hu has decreased. Tani Rabbi Yomer Shemava ben Yosef ben Dusoy, Elef Alfin Yishamshuna. It's Mispar Gedud Echad. That's this count of one battalion. And V'legdud of ein Mispar, he has no count to his battalions. Rabbi Yomer Bar Vamar Elef Alfin Yishamshuna Linhar Dinor. This refers that they serve the river Dinner. Shenamar Nahar Dinor Nagid V'nafik Min Kadmon. Now, where does this river come from? The sweat of the Chayos. Where does the river flow into? On the head of the evildoers in Gehenna. Now it flows on the generations that haven't even been created yet. Shenema asher kumtu v'lo itnar yutzak yisodam. Tana Rav Shimon HaChassid elu tshamios v'shivim v'arba doires. 974 generations shekumtu lihibaros kodem shenivra olam v'lo nivru. The Torah was supposed to be given after 1,000 generations. It was given after only 26 generations. If you count from Adam until Moshe Rabbeinu, it's 26. So 970, yet because Hashem saw if he doesn't give it right away, the world won't survive. So it falls on the head of 974 generations that were never created, that were supposed to create it and were never created. Okay, tomorrow we'll learn 7:30 the Daf, and then 8 o'clock the Tzurba.
Yeah, very interesting, all of this. Luftsachen.
Yeah, I wish we had a better handle on it.
Right. Okay, good night.
Good night.